Vortex, doesn't this sort of thing make you want to kill yourself? Like, not really. Not seriously. I'm not gonna, like, jump out of my car because I'm so upset about this, but no, I hate it. I absolutely hate it when I'm behind some obnoxiously large vehicle and I cannot see anything! Anyway. It's so fucking hot! The road's gonna open up here shortly though, so I don't want to get impatient and switch lanes. I'm going into work tonight, even though it's my day off. We don't have a church service tonight. This is one of the few Wednesdays where we don't have a church service. Because Lent is over and I'm very upset. Because I kind of sort of like going to church practically every day. I really do. It's a good thing. But, you know, my priest said in a homily recently, you know, that our Lenten celebration never has to be over. You know, we don't have to go back to our previous temptations. Even though we can if we want. Well, I think the whole point of it is to alleviate the wanting, you know, the obsession that I previously had to alter my mind. Fuck you. You know we love to yell at street signs. It's like our favorite thing. But yeah, ooh, they patched the road. Did you see that? That's cool. I'm proud of them. It's about time. Just took them 3 years to do that. Whatever. At least they did it. It sucks though, because every time they do work on the road, as you can see, that's really beautiful. Then there's going to be a very unnatural, totally precedented disaster that occurs that fucks up the roads again. Anyway. Yeah, I don't find myself, like, obsessing about things the way that I was. Now, I definitely have this compulsive characteristic, and I feel like I always have had it. So I just try to use it for good, because I don't see it going anywhere. Okay, can I switch lanes now? Bye-bye, honey. I'm gonna get in front of you if that's okay. So I can let this guy go, because he really wants to get ahead of me. You'll see him in a second. There he is. Oh, cool, he uses turn signal. At least there's that. I can get over impatience if you communicate with me. That's cool. Thank you. Goodbye. Hope you enjoy your travels elsewhere. Impatience is something that I find really annoying, but I think I find it annoying because I know that I exhibit it myself. I just don't exhibit it in the same way. I'm very patient when it comes to my feelings. I'm very patient when it comes to, you know, understanding the way that we are, understanding human behavior. And something that I've been thinking about that I can't seem to shake, talk all the time about accountability. I think a huge part of why the world is so screwed up is because they want us to make decisions that are really bad for us, okay? Like, I talk very extensively about medication and how bad it is. I also talk very extensively about technology and how bad it is. A lot of people choose to have a smartphone on their person all the time. Some people can't choose that because it was chosen for them. See, Zoomers, okay? Their parents were the ones that slapped that thing in their hand. There are plenty of people in institutions all over America that are forced to take medication. They don't want to take it, but they have to because they're in a situation that they can't get out of. But there are plenty of people in America that choose to take that shit. And so I think the whole point of this shit, this experiment, is to prove how gullible our society is and how people will voluntarily do things that are really bad for themselves and either not notice or not care that they're really bad. And they refuse to make a different decision, they refuse to question authority, and they refuse to do their own research, and they refuse to pay attention to their bodies, and they're ruining their relationships. Thank you for the turn signal. We love you. It's just really sad. Like, how many people will make really bad choices. And then you see this a lot with, you know, when people realize, oh wow, this was terrible. How can they get away with this? How are they allowed to do this? How can they do this to me? How can they do this to my family? How can they do this to my kids? How can they do this to my mother? How can they do this to society? Because society allows it, okay? That's the brutally honest truth, baby cakes. Society allows it. The majority of society was exactly like you used to be, totally oblivious, okay? And you don't care about anything until it's too late, and then when it's too late, then you whine about it, and you act like they did it to you. But if you were conscious, and if consciousness were a virtue, you would notice that not being able to ejaculate is a bad thing, okay? Not being able to cry when you have ovaries is a bad thing. Not being able to relate to other people is a bad thing. This is indicative of mental illness, okay? Like serious mental illness. Not having empathy, not caring about other people, that's bad. So the fact that people are on medication and the fact that people are using technology that eliminates their capacity to care and relate to other people, and they're not doing anything about it. And now that it's too late, and now that society is totally far gone, now that the Zoomer generation is completely fucked, and I mean, let's not even talk about Generation Alpha, I feel so bad for them. The only children I have any hope for are children that are being brought up by Orthodox Christian parents. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, okay? But I see it. I see these kids that get so excited to take Holy Communion, they get so excited to kiss the icons. They're saying the Lord's Prayer, they're singing the church hymns. And you can say that's indoctrination all you want, but those are kids that know who they are, and they have parents that actually give a fuck about their well-being. But you know, how could people value the attention span of children if they don't even value their own attention span? You know? I just read an article, I'll put a link down below, I'll put a link to this. It's talking about how people are more politically charged if they're brain damaged. And this wasn't related to any political affiliation. This is true of all politics, left, right, center, okay? So yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're voluntarily damaging your body and your brain and you don't even care. And it's hard to feel sorry for you.